Russia blames Ukraine as Belgorod apartments collapse after blast.
Here's a summary of the article.
Russia is blaming a Ukrainian strike after an entire section of an apartment building collapsed following an explosion in Belgorod. The Russian city is near the border with Kharkiv in Ukraine, where Moscow's troops launched an offensive on Friday. The Belgorod region has often been targeted by Ukrainian forces since the start of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022, but previously Ukrainian officials have said cross-border strikes do not target civilians. The regional governor of Belgorod, Vyacheslav Gladkov, accused Ukraine of bombarding the region, describing the cause of the explosion as a Ukrainian shell. One resident told Russian state news agency RIA Novosti her husband was in their bedroom in the building when the blast went off and was injured in the head and face. The incident comes as intense battles continue just across the border in northeastern Ukraine, where Russian forces have made incursions into the Kharkiv region. In his evening address on Sunday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said the Russian offensive has displaced thousands.
This post received a score of 6,000, with an upvote ratio of 93%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Russian mayor said it's a Ukrainian shell. What kind of shell can demolish 9-story building and even throw away and overturn cars parked under the building?
With the quality of construction of some Russian buildings, a seashell?
Actually, I'm from post-Soviet country. If it was one of those they build in our country, they will last long time. And they are good quality compare the shit it's built now.
In Russia and Ukraine it's usually a crapshoot. Some of the Soviet-era buildings are very blast-proof and were built for surviving warfare, but a lot of them were prefabs that crumble like nothing. Might depends on in which Soviet era they were built. The better-looking and desirable houses with fancy-looking facades adorned with moldings, large windows, but also large heating pipes and higher utility prices are Stalinkas. Cheaper, smaller prefab panel houses are Khrushchevkas. The different project types vary greatly in quality and so do individual buildings. It was also an amplifying factor in the damage done by the 1988 Spydak earthquake. There was a lot of cost cutting and the poor quality panel houses were collapsing and burying people alive.
Blowing themselves up again?
Putin falling back on the old hits from the past?
We all get nostalgic sometimes.
Putin planting explosives in the basements of apartments again?
All basements are built to be explosive in Russia.
And I thought windows were dangerous enough on their own.
In the end it won't matter if it was Ukraine and if it was deliberate or not. Without Russia senselessly starting this war, this would have never happened.
Yeah, it's been pretty evident that Ukraine doesn't target civilians, unlike Russia. So regardless if it's fired from Ukraine or Russia, Russia brought this on themselves.
Even if it was Ukraine, so what? Russia is waging war on their soil and killing civilians every chance they get. Bombing attacks specifically targeting civilian populations has just been part of warfare since WW2. Ukraine can't win, or continue to wage war, and it seems the Russian populace is fine with what Russia is doing, so they are part of it too.
Setting aside morality for a moment, if Ukraine starts deliberately attacking civilian targets, they'll lose a huge amount of goodwill from the West. Given they're already struggling to maintain enough political will in the West to keep military aid flowing in, losing goodwill like that would be catastrophic for them. The harm would so outweigh the benefits it wouldn't even be close. Okay, bringing morality back into it. We're supposed to be the fucking good guys here.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.